If you notice, they went as far as they could come without running over a grave.
They are mothers, fathers, siblings, and friends, but their graves have no names.
These are people that we don't know who they are. They're John Does, they're unknowns.
They are immigrants who risked everything for the chance at a better life.
Here's an unknown male, right there.
But they didn't survive the journey. Their dreams ended here at the Brooks County Cemetery, roughly 80 miles north of the border. The problem now, the county is running out of room.
We basically have hit a plateau that we've now got to look for more land.
The immigrant death toll here is rising. In 2012, the county reported 129 bodies. That's more than double the year before. In South Texas, it's the ranchers who find themselves on the front lines.
This is the body of the coroner. I think it's about a 14-year-old girl that we found out here.
How long do you think she'd been there?
Really not that long, about 7, maybe 10 days.
It's the rugged terrain many can't survive.
It's very, very sandy here. You walk a mile in this sand, it's like walking 3 miles or more.
We found 8 of these makeshift tents in this area. They're basically shelter for the night. We also found things like an empty can of corn, and over here there was a sock that was left behind.
There's groups coming through this ranch probably right now as we speak.
Ronnie Osborne says it's a sign the border is far from secure.
There's so many more illegal aliens coming in through South Texas than they're reporting in Washington, D.C.
This is the busiest that we've seen this checkpoint now.
Border Patrol's sign in Falfurrias touts more than 11,000 arrests, and that's only since the fiscal year began in October. That breaks down to an average 57 immigrants arrested every day in and around the checkpoint.
And this happens every day.
Agents say once immigrants cross the border here, they are driven up Highway 281 and told to bail out to avoid the checkpoint. They hike through ranches, and the survivors are picked up on the other side by coyotes. Border Patrol agents say they are doing what they can to make sure people survive.
So this is just, one of the 8 rescue beacons that we've got deployed out in some of these ranches.
The beacons are mobile, and agents move them to the areas where the most recent bodies were found. There's relief and a way out if they choose.
All they've got to do is punch this button, and it'll automatically send a signal off to our radio dispatch.
But lately, authorities can't seem to find them fast enough.
We didn't budget for 129 bodies, but with the law says we got to pay for them, we will pay for them.
So where do you make up the money?
We rob Peter to pay Paul. We don't give employees raises, we cut their departments, we don't fix county roads.
And because Brooks County is not technically on the border, it doesn't get the federal funding other counties do.
I just can't absorb this happening in my county and that this many people have died and perished here. We should only have one grave out here, not this kind of numbers.
Every number is someone's loved one. Loved ones who the county now has to find more room to bury. Grace White, Fox News at 9.
We've been digging for 2 days now.
At times the task can seem overwhelming.
I mean, it's a dustpan, but I'm gonna get a shovel.
And in the Texas heat, volunteers only have a few hours to complete their mission.
It's just about getting someone back to their family.
These are the graves of undocumented immigrants who died chasing the American dream.
Coralia, Jacqueline, Iris, Jose, Lydia.
Those are the names of the missing Rafael Lorenza has compiled from just the last month. His group, Angeles del Deserto, stays in touch with families who are hoping their loved ones will be found.
He paid money for somebody. $5,000 or $6,000.
This relative we spoke to on the phone told us his brother-in-law crossed the border with a coyote in McAllen. They got word he became sick and haven't heard anything since.
He had a wife here and 2 children. Cried. Everybody cried.
You want me to, I can stand right here.
We have a lot that has to be done. It's tough. You can see it's a lot of hard work.
In the cemetery in Brooks County, there are dozens of unmarked graves. Students like San Antonio native Catherine Fernandez are now working to exhume them.
Some of them have been skeletal, so the decomposing ones are definitely the harder ones to deal with because it's, you know, it's real when it's like that. Go.
Unfortunately, this is a small county, and small counties in Texas don't have medical examiners' offices, so they don't have access to the forensic science that they really desperately need. I gotta write that in the notes, because most of the time...
Through DNA testing, Baylor University's Dr. Lori Baker will try to find out their identities.
What we have to do is piece together who that person was in life, and so we look at the skeletal remains and we determine stature, age, ancestry.
These students are all here on their own time. They'll be here for about 10 days, and their goal is to take as many of these remains with them as possible.
We've gotten calls from a lot of mothers that say, you know, they're so happy that they have a place now to say goodbye.
And the family we spoke to says they are happy to hear someone is finally offering help.
Good job, because a lot of family wait for the song, wait for the husband.
And I'm feeling very proud of them, right? I got no words for say because they are not Spanish, they are Americans, and they try to help to our people.
People who are willing to die just for the chance at a better life. Grace White, Fox News at 9. For years, it's been a mystery.
The lady that is responsible for these flowers, we've been trying to identify.
Flowers that have been placed at the graves of undocumented immigrants.
So that is somebody that has a very, very compassion, and I'd like to find out who she is.
That was a month ago.
Do a quick inventory, and then I'm going to have you label these, okay?
And when we returned to Brooks County to follow Baylor University students as they exhumed remains, we found the woman everyone's been looking for.
But I used to come with my grandmother, so I was raised by my grandmother.
So she taught you that it was important
to put flowers. She would go and buy like a little bunch and put one here, one over there.
And now she's carrying on the tradition.
What's your favorite colors to do?
Orange and yellow.
They call her the Flower Lady. She's been taking care of John Doe graves since 2001, when her son died.
This is our son. He was killed in a car accident.
Has anyone ever told you thank you?
No, because nobody comes over here from them.
But we introduced Pettis to someone who wanted to show her appreciation.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for doing that. That is one of the nicest things I've seen.
That's Baylor's Dr. Lori Baker, who is using DNA testing to try and identify immigrant remains. She says if these families knew this woman was looking after the graves of their sons and daughters, they would be touched.
Well, it seems like when you put flowers, it seems like, I'll say, heaven opens.
Pettis says she's just putting a blessing where it's deserved.